Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. So today guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk about something very important this time of year. I'm going to be talking about what to do if your furnace is not working, how to stay warm this winter from my experience. I know a lot of you guys aren't on right now, and that's okay. I'm making this video so that you guys can know what to do in case you run into some situations that I've been in, okay? And this is a matter of life and death for a lot of people, and I can kind of speak from experience. When I was growing up, I grew up in a household that was poor. And some of the memories I remember from my childhood is in the wintertime when I lived with my mom. This was going to be like, yeah, my childhood, teenage years, and I guess I'd say early 20s. Um, what I remember is I remember not having utilities on. And one of the utilities I went without was electricity. It wasn't that we went without electricity a lot. It was just because, like, sometimes, we would have the electric, let's just say the electric was off more than it was on. Okay. Um, and so not only did I go without electric, but I also went without gas. You guys can kind of imagine the double whammy of not being able to have gas or electric at some points. So um, I kind of grew up thinking that this was normal to not have utilities on. I kind of knew that it wasn't, but my normal was being used to not necessarily having utilities, sometimes of not having food and things like that. And so, speaking from experience, I know what it's like to go without electric, go without gas. This video kind of inspires me because at one point in my life, well, at different points in my life, I went without utilities. Okay. And while living with my mom. Um, so the topic of today's video is rather familiar to me. Today we're going to talk about what to do if your furnace is not working. Okay. So in order for your furnace not to be working, um, it's not necessarily that you don't have gas as a utility, but if you don't have um, natural gas in your house, whether it is your own place that that you own, or whether it's a place that you rent. One of the issues could be if your furnace is not working, it could be an issue with your gas, okay, the natural gas that heats your house. So this will be the utility that warms up your water. This will be the utility that blows warm air into your house when it gets too cold. And usually you would go to the panel, and you would go and you would kind of um, you would say how warm you want it to be in your house. And different times of the year, your house would probably be fine in the summer without turning on any natural gas to heat your home. But in the fall and winter, recently this fall, it's been getting chilly. I've noticed kind of how it was a sharp change in the weather. So it just recently got cold. Some days back, it was warm. So, if it's like 60, you know, I can keep the furnace off. Okay. Um, if it is um, if it is like 40 or 30, okay, then that means I'm gonna have to turn the furnace on. I'm the type of person that I get cold really easily, and I have the heater on, you know, throughout the year just because I like to stay warm. Okay, so I'm just one of those people. Not everybody's like that. Okay, not everybody is. So, if your furnace is not working and you know that your gas is threatened to be turned off, and not gas like in your car, but natural gas. This would be what like heats your water. And allows you to cook in your kitchen, like if you have a gas flame on your stove. Okay. So if your furnace is not working, one of the culprits could be that your gas could be off. Okay. And you would know if your gas was off because if you have cold water and you don't have any flame coming out of your stove, this will be if you have a natural gas stove. If you have an electric stove, then you wouldn't, then if you have electric on, the stove's going to come on. Okay. So I'm trying to explain this so you guys can kind of understand. So, um, if your furnace is not working and you know that there is no natural gas coming into your house, and this could be because maybe your gas was just turned off or something like that. What you want to do is you want to work on trying to get your gas on as soon as possible, and this does depend on your age. If you're the kid in the household, and you're trying to help your parent or parents to get to keep to get the hot water back on, and for you guys to be able to cook on your gas stove, then it's a good idea to kind of talk to your parents about, hey, mom or dad, whoever you live with, may not be your mother or father, kind of just let them know, because your parent may not know that it was off. It could have been suddenly turned off, and maybe one of your parents can pay the bill and it'll come back on. Okay. One indication that your furnace is not working is that when if you get up in the morning and it's cold in your house. Okay. So that's one indication. But what you want to do is you want to go over to the panel where you would turn your heat on at, and you would go and you would take a look at it. Okay. And you would see if it has any type of, if it tells you the room temperature. If the room temperature is like in the 50s, or something like that, then there's a chance that your gas is not on. Now, there's also the chance that your furnace may not necessarily be working. Your gas can be on, so you may have hot water. You may have see a flame coming from your gas stove. You may see those things. That tells you that the gas is on. Okay. If you go and you look at the panel for your to turn on your furnace, and you notice that the temperature is cold. So you notice it's in the 50s, 40s, or 30s, or something like that. If you notice that it shows the room temperature is really cold, and you see that the room temperature is supposed to be 70, like you set it for 70, but the temperature in the room inside your house dipped all the way down to 30, 40, or 50 degrees in your house, and you're like shivering cold, then you know that there's something wrong with your furnace. You can also tell, you want to make sure that the display for your furnace is reflecting the correct room temperature. I mean, there's the chance that maybe the numbers could be flip-flopped. Of course, that could mean that there's something wrong with the panel itself. But one thing you can do is switch the batteries out in the panel to make sure, and it's not really a panel, it's more like a control. Okay. So that you like just click on and off. Okay. So a lot of times on the panel, I'm just saying panel, a lot of time on you could say furnace thermostat in your living room or kitchen or wherever it is, a lot of times that particular thermostat that's there is it can be a place where you control how cold it is in your house. So this is where you may run your air conditioner from, or it could also be where the heat is coming from. Okay, so everybody's is kind of set up a little different. So if you discover that you have hot water, you have natural gas coming from your kitchen when you're cooking and stuff, but you notice it's still cold in the house and it's like 50 degrees or 30 or 40 degrees, 30 would be really, really cold. Okay, and you really need to get some heat on if it's that cold. Okay. If you notice that your furnace is not working, one of the things you want to do is you want to try to turn it on. So I'd say try turning it on. And when you turn it on, try to time how long it takes for your furnace to come on. If your furnace just has some sort of humming sound and it doesn't like in like, you know, 4 minutes or 5 minutes, the heat doesn't start blowing into the room that you're in for whatever reason. And you try that 3 times, and each time, you know, you wait 5 minutes, and then the furnace that was on turns off, and then you wait, you time it, and it takes 4 minutes, and then the furnace just turns off, and then 3 minutes, and it turns off, and it's just less and less time for the furnace to turn off. If that's the case and it's just humming and you know the furnace is trying to work, but somehow or another it seems like there's not any fuel for it to come on, what you want to do if you're renting a place, if you're renting a house or an apartment, what you want to do is the first thing you want to do is you want to notify your landlord. So if you just get up in the morning and you notice that it's really, really cold in your house, let's say like 30 degrees, and you notice that, what you should do is notify your landlord if you're renting a place. Notify them, let them know, right when you get up, hey, this furnace isn't working. I tried doing this, and you can just tell them it's not working and say what you tried. You don't have to say what you tried. You can just say, hey, went to turn on the furnace. I've been waiting about 15 minutes and it's not on. And I tried a few times. That should be alarm enough for your landlord to do something, especially if it's in the fall and it's just starting to get cold or it's in the dead of winter. Okay. Now, if it's in the winter and let's say it's at night, okay. If it's at night and you notice that you come home and you notice your furnace is not working, like I said, you want to try to get the furnace to come on. Okay. So you want to do what I was saying. You want to turn on the furnace, wait about 5 minutes to see if the heat starts blowing. Then you're going to try that again, and then you're going to try that again. You're going to notice, like I did, you're going to notice that it's going to the furnace is going to stay on for less and less time. So mine went from like 5 minutes down to 3 minutes. That's when I knew that there was a problem. Okay. So please let your landlord know. If you're at home and it is really cold and it's like 0 degree temperatures, like a wind chill kind of factor outside, and you walked in the house and you found out it's like freezing cold, my advice would be for you to go over somebody's house. Okay. Try to call, depending on what time it is, you can try to call someone that and ask them if you can come and stay over their house. Maybe a friend, maybe a family member, maybe even a neighbor if you're really, if your neighbor is cool with that. If nobody is up, then I would suggest that you go to a hotel. There are hotels that you can check in at, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock a.m. or something like that. It's 24-hour hotel. So, if if it's cold in your house and it's really chilly, then, you definitely want to go to a hotel, and I'm sure you guys may know some hotels out there. One place I stayed was extended stay in the past, so I'm familiar with that. I mean, there's Hilton and Regency and, you know, Best Western. There's a lot of different hotels. I don't know if they're 24 hours though, you know what I mean? So you may have to find a 24-hour hotel. But I'm sure you can like find it. One thing I would suggest is that you want to you want to go and get in your car, make sure that you can get in your car and kind of you get warm. And then, you want to make a plan. So you can call the hotel and see if they have any available rooms. And then what you want to do is you want to reserve that room, make sure you have the amount of money that you need to stay there for a night, but, you want to make sure you can secure a room before you drive out there. Because if you drive out there and then you got no rooms, then you're going to have to try to find another place. And if that place doesn't have any rooms, then you got to find another one. I mean, eventually you may find one, but my advice is to call that particular hotel first. So you can make sure that you can secure a room. And then when you get there, then they can check you into that room. Okay. And they may ask you information to reserve the room, but that's okay. You're in an emergency. Okay. So, what you'll do after you've registered for that room and secured it, they may tell you that they have to take a deposit. Just tell them, okay, fine. And then, the deposit, a lot of times they don't have a deposit to hold it, but once you come and you pay for the room, then then they'll more likely than not they may give you that back, or that may be a portion of the cost of the room. Maybe. So once you've secured the room, then what you want to do is you want to go in your house and you want to get some clothes. So I don't know if it's just going to be you and your partner, your husband or your wife, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe you're a single parent with children or something like that, or it's just you by yourself. If it's you by yourself, it's a little bit easier. You can just go in the house, grab some stuff. You're going to get some clothes for the next day. And then, of course, you're going to, get your personal effects. Like you'll get toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, you know, um, you'll get your personal effects that you need, maybe a charger for your phone, um, maybe a laptop if you feel like it, you know. So you'll take those things with you, whatever you feel like you need, maybe a book to read. Okay. So, and your wallet, of course, your wallet. So, you want to take whatever personal things you feel like you need to take with you. And then what you want to do is, I say put them in like a backpack that you may have, or some sort of suitcase or briefcase or something like that. And then go ahead and zip it up. Okay. Make sure, of course, that you take some extra gloves or hats or whatever that you need. Maybe even an umbrella, who knows? But if it's really dangerously cold in your house, then you can't stay there if you don't have a source of heat. Now you may have, space heaters and stuff like that, but of course it can take a long time for that to heat up where you are. I mean, if you are trying to tough it out and you have a space heater that can warm up your room, that's fine. Now it gets a little more complicated when you have pets. So if you have pets, like you have a dog or cat, um, or maybe even you have a small animal like a hamster or a gerbil or a mouse, or um, guinea pig or rabbit, whatever you have. It gets a little bit more complicated if your pet, you have a pet, because if you have a pet, if you're going to a hotel, you're going to want to take that pet with you. But of course, you want to make sure that your pet is not going to wake up any of the other people that's at the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Um, that may not be the case if you're at the particular hotel or whatever, but that all depends. So, it depends on your pet. You don't want to have your pet in any dangerously cold temperatures or anything like that. You definitely don't want to do that. Okay. And what you're trying to do is stay warm. Now, staying at the hotel is going to give you, that's going to give you the chance to keep warm. Okay. Now, you do want to text your landlord and let them know if you're renting a house or an apartment. You want to let them know that, your heat is not working. You want to let them know, hey, my furnace is not working. Now your furnace could be in the basement or it could be in your apartment or house. It really all depends on how it's laid out. Okay. So, um, you're going to go to the hotel, you're going to check in. You can take your pet if you need to take them. Make sure the hotel allows, your particular type of pet. They may be okay with you bringing your pet, and that's fine, Um, but, you guys can kind of make determinations of what you'll do. If you have like a aquarium and you have fish, you can probably put those fish into a smaller fish tank and maybe take them with you, to the hotel. Maybe, I don't know. So you can do that. Now, first, like I said, make sure you tell your landlord if you're renting. If you own a house, it's going to be a little bit more different. So if you own the house that you have, what you may be able to do is, that night that it's really cold, you don't want to stay there. Okay. You don't want to do that. You want to go to a hotel, or whoever is going with you is going to go with you. Okay. Now the price can go up depending on the amount of people that's going with you, but it's an emergency, so you got to go ahead and get the hotel. Okay. So that's important. Now, the next morning, you're going to be, if you are renting your house or apartment, then you're going to be looking for a text from your landlord so that they can send somebody out, okay, to try to work with your furnace. If you own the house and the furnace is new, or you know somebody who can come and fix the furnace, just expect that it can probably cost maybe $150, 200 or more to fix the furnace. Now, it'd be great if you have a warranty on the furnace so that you can have somebody to come out and fix it. If you have a warranty, that's pretty good. Okay. But I'd always suggest, having somebody who can come out and fix your furnace just in case it's not working. Make sure this person, is licensed to do this so that they are not just somebody who's completely crazy who doesn't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about as bad as you working on it if you have no idea how to fix your furnace. Okay. So the next day, you're gonna try to get somebody to come out and fix your furnace. Now, I don't know if you have a job to go to. I don't know if you're off that day or whatever. I'm not even sure what you know what's going on with you. But if it's on the weekend or a weeknight, whatever, that next day, what you want to do is you want to take time to make sure that you get somebody to come out and work on your furnace, whether your landlord's going to send them or you own the house. Okay. So you want to get somebody coming out that day. You don't want to wait until the end of the day and then say, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and call somebody, because the people who would be able to fix your furnace may be booked up by the time. I mean, this is the time of year. And this is what I found out from the gas company. They said that a lot of people's furnaces are not working this time of year. And so, the earlier you can try to get it fixed, the better. I would say try to start having somebody look at your furnace in the summer to make sure it's working. You want to do that. You can wait till about around this time in November, late November, and do that if you want to. You know, One thing I also found out today is that newer furnaces are more likely to break down. The older ones are likely to last like 40 or 50 or so years. So that's pretty cool. It's probably better to have an older furnace. So I thought I would just add that piece in there. So that day, early in the morning, you want to make sure that you can try to get somebody, schedule to get somebody out to your house. So you at least want them to come by at least the late afternoon. Not late afternoon, but you may want them to come in the morning or sometime in the late afternoon, like maybe 12 or 1 o'clock. This is why I would say you want to block out anything else that you was doing, because you may be spending most of the day waiting on the person to come and fix your furnace. Whether you own your house or whether you're renting it. Okay. So get that appointment scheduled really early. You don't really want to be behind a bunch of people, and you never know what that person who's fixing your furnace, you never know what their schedule looks like. You know what I'm saying? They may be taking off the rest of their day. You know what I'm saying? If you call too late, then they may not be able to get to you, and you may have to rent a hotel for another day, and you may not want to stay there that long. You may have people, that's in another room next to you and they're loud. You know what I mean? So you don't want to chance it. Even if it's quiet, you still don't want to chance it, because somebody new can come in the second night and they can be really loud and obnoxious and knocking on the wall and yelling and drunk and everything else. You don't want to deal with that. Okay. So hopefully sometime in the morning you will get some sort of message that says that your landlord is sending somebody out and they're waiting to hear from them, or you will hear that you will, hear from somebody who you hired who says they're going to be coming out at a certain time. The earlier you schedule it, the better. Okay. Now, when somebody comes out to fix your furnace, of course you want to be there. Okay. If you have children, you want to make arrangements for somebody to watch your children while you are talking to the person who's going to be fixing your furnace. Okay. You want to make arrangements for that. You don't want to have your kids running around and going crazy, and you can't focus on what the person who's trying to fix your furnace is trying to tell you. So you want to make arrangements for somebody to watch them. Okay. All right. When the furnace person comes, then, they will look for you to be at your house, So, you can, once you have their information for the gas person or whatever, you can always, wait in your car if it's really cold, and you want to run your car, if you can do that. Or you can be in your house, you know what I mean? So you can ask the person what time they're going to be at your house, and then you can be waiting there, maybe 10 minutes till that time. Okay. So, I would say be at your house before they get there, so you can at least go in the house and things like that, make sure everything's okay before you bring the gas person in. Okay. And this isn't a utility person, this is going to be somebody who works on furnaces and things like that. Maybe around the house repairs, like washer dryer, furnace, other stuff like that. Handyman. Okay. So when they come, like I said, you want to be focused on the person who's going to be fixing the furnace. Please describe to them what's going on, what you've noticed, how long you've waited for the heat to turn on. Okay, you want to do that. All right. You want to tell them what kind of sounds you hear. If you don't hear your furnace coming on, you want to tell them that. If you hear it humming and it's not coming on, you want to tell them that. If you notice anything blowing, if your furnace turns on and just blows cold air, you want to tell them that. Whatever detail you can tell them is going to help them with fixing your furnace and getting it back in good order so you can be back home and do whatever you want to do. Okay. So, anything so. So, once you tell the furnace person what's going on, then you want to give them some time to work on it and fix it. So, you don't have to be all in their face. You can tell them where your furnace is. It can be in your basement. It can be in your laundry room. It can be in a spare room you have, wherever it is. You want to tell them where it is and stuff, and they may say they'll find it, and that's fine. Just point them in the direction of, and tell them what room it's in, and kind of say, hey, it's down there, okay? Or it's in that room over there, okay? So, where it's upstairs, which I don't know when it'll be upstairs, but okay. So, let the person kind of, let them troubleshoot and find out what's going on. While the person is fixing your furnace, a lot of times you're going to hear the furnace come on and off. They may have some machines that they bring with them or tools they bring with them to try to test the furnace and stuff. They know what they're doing. You don't have to question them while they're working on it. You know what I mean? They may prefer that you're not in their hair while they're, troubleshoot the furnace. Okay. So after, they've done some troubleshooting and hopefully your heat comes on and you're like, oh, wow, look at that warm air coming on. You know what I mean? You're happy. Now, what I want to tell you is that even if the person who's fixing your furnace does fix it, I will tell you this. Don't turn off your furnace. Don't turn it off. Even if they leave, don't turn it off. What you want to do is keep that furnace on. Keep it running. Don't turn it off. Keep it on, okay? You want to keep it on because you want to keep it going. Because there's a chance that if your furnace wasn't working and you turn it off, then it may stop working again, okay? And so if it stops working again, you don't want to be in that situation. So please keep the heat on. You know what I mean? Please keep it on. If you get too hot, you got an air conditioner in your room, turn that thing on. And then you should be able to, kind of cool the room down, even if the hot air is blowing. I know it's counterproductive, but if it just gets fixed, you don't want to run the risk of it being messed up by turning it off. Okay, you don't want to do that. You just don't. So I would say if for some reason while it's blowing, your furnace does not come back on during the day or during the night, you want to record that. You want to get some sleep. It may be warm enough in your house for you to sleep there and everything. And then, let the furnace person know if the heat doesn't come back on. Let them know. I'll let your landlord know. If it's your own house, then let the furnace person know that you have fixed it. They may need to get a part for your furnace. Okay. The goal here is for you, or whoever to be in a warm environment. Okay. That's the goal. Now, I know there's people out here who don't have money to pay for utilities and stuff like that. And that's when you want to take advantage of programs in your wherever you live that can pay your bills. A lot of places do have that. I will say that if you're trying to have some sort of government agency to pay for your utilities, what I will tell you is they will ask for paperwork, proof that you can't pay it. And just know that it's not just you who needs their bills paid. There's other people who do too. Okay. So you want to make sure, you take advantage of that as soon as possible. I say, please try to keep your, utilities on. If you know somebody who can help you get it paid, family, friend, acquaintance, whatever, who can help you get it paid, you want to do that so you can keep your utilities on, because there is a such thing as people dying from the cold. There is a such thing as that. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have sufficient heating or they don't have electric. You know what I mean? So it's very important, to keep your utilities on. Be tell family members that hey, I'm experiencing this. Let them know so they can kind of come over and come to your house and they can kind of observe what's going on. And if they invite you over to their house, then you go over there. I know if you live on your own, you probably don't want to go back to, go to your family member's house or your parents' house. You may not want to do that, but if it's really dangerously cold outside, like it's in the wind chill factors, in the negative temperatures, then you don't want to chance it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's gonna be cold outside, it's gonna be cold in your house if there's nothing heated. Okay. And you also want to have your house heated, not just to keep you healthy, but also for your pets, because your pets are going to need to be in a warm place. They can't just be in a really cold place because they can get sick too. There is a such thing as hypothermia. There is a such thing as people that die from the cold because they can't heat their home. That's happened to me, and it's not a pretty picture. It's just not. Okay, it's not, and you don't want to find out that one of your relatives passed away because they didn't have any gas or electric or anything like that. That's why it's important to to talk to people in your family and ask them if they have heat or gas or whatever. Even food too. Make sure they have that, so they can be prepared. If they don't have that, invite them over to your house. They may just be staying for a day, and you can try to help them out. You know what I mean? It can get a little more complicated if your family member doesn't tell you that they're going without a utility. Um, it can, or if somebody else knows and they tell you, and then when you talk to your family member, they deny it. That's really the hardest thing. What we want to do is keep our family and friends and acquaintances safe. We definitely want to do that. Okay. So we want to make sure that the people we know are okay. Okay. And this includes our older folks and younger folks too that are just starting out. Okay. So, guys, I hope this has been helpful. I hope when, the furnace person gets done fixing your furnace, then, you have warm air, sorry. What I will go ahead and say too, guys, is that if you are renting a place and your landlord ignores you and they don't get back to you and tell you they're sending somebody out to fix your furnace, and it's already been a day already and you're having to stay at a hotel for several days, what I would say you want to do is, you want to stay on your landlord and let them know, hey, I don't have heat for my place. I'm renting this place. I'm paying X amount of money, a month. You don't have to say how much you're paying, but you can just say, hey, it's my right to have my heat on. This is my right to have this on. What's the plan for getting this fixed? And they should be able to tell you, what their plan is. They should really react very quickly. They shouldn't be playing any type of games or anything with you. They should be really on the ball, serious. You know what I'm saying? I can see if it takes, maybe it takes a day, but if it takes, let's say they don't get back to you the first day, but they get back to you the second day, they should be getting somebody out that second day, and they should be having that heat back on before long. Now you want to make sure your bill's paid so that they can't use that as saying that you're irresponsible because the gas is off, and then the person can't fix the furnace because the furnace is off because of the gas. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to watch your utilities. If it's more helpful, have a budget for your utilities. Okay. So you want to make sure, and also read your lease. Read your lease to make sure and find out who's responsible for if the furnace breaks or something else in your house breaks. Who's responsible? Usually in a lease, it's going to say who's responsible. Okay. A lot of the times, it's going to be the landlord who's responsible for fixing stuff, like maybe a washer and dryer or a furnace or stove or refrigerator, whatever. A lot of times that's going to be the case. So you want to read your lease to make sure. That's why you should read your lease before you sign it. Even after you sign it, you want to read it just so you know what's going on. Okay, just so you're aware. All right. The more of an understanding the more of the understanding you have your lease, the better. Sorry, I'm getting really tongue tied. It's almost like 1 a.m. So The more of an understanding you have about your lease, the better. And not just you, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend staying with you, make sure they have a good understanding of what's on the lease. Some people have attorneys to look at their lease before they sign it and move into a place, so that can be helpful too. But guys, I hope this has been super, super, super helpful for those of you whose furnace is not working and gives you some kind of steps of what to do. I know how scary it can be for you to wake up in the morning and then your furnace not be working. I know how scary that could be. And so, guys, what I will say is please, 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 um, you know, please, be aware of if stuff is working in your home or not. If if it's not working, then that's when you want to get on it. I know if it's late at night or something, you may not necessarily want to start trying to work on fixing it. And you can always wait till the next day to do that, but you want to, try to get some things in motion. Please don't wait till the last minute. Okay. You want to get on the ball as soon as you can to try to get that heat on, or electric on if that's how you heat your place. Because some places are heated by electric, not necessarily gas. So, I hope this has been super helpful. I hope this helps you guys out there. I know how easy it is to get anxious if you find out that your heat is not working, you know, or your electric isn't working to heat your place. I know how uh, anxious that can make you, and you may get irritable and maybe want to blame somebody for it. But what you can do is stay calm and try to rationalize through it and try to come up with steps to fix it. If you're too anxious and you're overwhelmed and stuff because you got way too much going on, then what you can do is ask somebody else the steps you should take so you can get help. Okay, you can always ask for help and have people to help you. Ask family or friends or boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, whoever you're staying with. Just ask for help, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. My experience, real quick, my experience has been with the furnace not working. Today, my furnace was not working. When I got up this morning, I noticed it was like really cold in my house. It was like 59 or something in the house, and that's cold for me. So what I did is I texted my landlord, and I let my landlord know, hey, this furnace is not working, you know. And so I waited some time, and then the landlord got back to me and said he was going to send somebody out, and got a furnace guy out who I had to let into the house, and the guy got the job done. Okay, he fixed it and things like that. Doesn't mean it's going to stay working, because we had this problem last year where the furnace this time last year was not working. Okay, so it can be a headache to get your furnace to work, especially if it's really old. I mean, who knows? Your furnace could be like 15, 20 years old, and that could be why it stops working. Maybe there's a part that the furnace person needs to, replace to get it working smoothly. But either way, I say stay calm. If there's business you got to take care of and stuff like that, after you text your landlord first, or your gas person or whatever, text them first, or call the gas company if you really feel like you want to go there and pay for it. Do it as soon as possible so you can make sure somebody comes out, because you'll be surprised how many people are going through the same issue as you are. And the later you wait, the more likely it's going to be that you may have to wait some business days before it's fixed. And there is a such thing as people having to use heaters to heat their homes. I was talking to a lady that worked for the gas company, and she was telling me that her furnace wasn't working. And so her family was using heaters, to heat their home and stuff like that. It's probably going to be more expensive on her electric bill, but she was doing what she could do. But the good thing that you can do is stay calm. Okay, stay calm first. Um, when you discover your furnace is not working, get yourself ready, and then text whoever you got to text or call whoever you got to call to try to get your furnace, scheduled to be looked at the day that you're calling. And then you want to stay on, whoever, your landlord, gas company, your furnace guy, whoever, to stay on them so that they come. You know, you don't want to bug them every 5 or 10 minutes. You don't want to do it. You want to give them a chance to respond to you, you know, a reasonable period of time. Okay. So you don't want to wait 8 hours for them to respond. You want to, you know, maybe every hour you want to kind of check in with them, you know, and ask them, hey, are you on your way and stuff? Because, you know, they may be working on all types of people stuff and they may have a lot of people waiting on them. You know what I mean? So, you know, one way you can be respectful to the furnace person or your landlord or whoever's going to help you out is, you know, you want to give them time. You know, give them a reasonable period of time, like maybe an hour. You know, if you know they're working on something, maybe give them another hour because they may be on their way out to where you're at to fix your furnace. You just don't want to piss the person off who's going to come in try to work on your furnace. Okay, furnace stuff. It's been going on since last year. I'm glad that you know it's working right now, so that's a good thing. It doesn't mean it's going to keep working, but please stay calm, guys. Make a plan to try to get the furnace working again. You don't have to go down and try to fix your furnace. You don't have to do that. Okay. You don't have to watch videos on how to fix the furnace and things like that. If you're not comfortable, you know, or you're not handy like that, get a professional to do it for you. Okay. So, guys, I hope this was super, 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 super helpful for those of you whose furnace is not working for whatever reason. I hope the resources that I supplied in here will be helpful. And, you know, you guys are not alone. I experienced it myself, and I hope this was super helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye-bye.